Good numbers for the first quarter, probably because of pent-up demand. How much clarity, what are your assumptions for the coming quarters? How strong will they be?
Good morning, Haslinda. Good morning, Richard. Thanks for having me. We had a record quarter for the first quarter in 2021. It was a historic quarter for us in the complete history of our region, with a 33-point percentage increase to the last year's quarter. And so we are optimistic for 2021.
What's the outlook? What's driving your optimism given the chip shortage, which is hurting automakers?
The supply of electronic components has not led to any production interruptions so far. We ordered the required volume for 2021 at an appropriate time, and we expect our suppliers to fulfill these orders. We are closely monitoring the situation and are in constant communication with our suppliers.
Christopher, I mean, others, have you got another source of chips? Because, I mean, every car makers at the moment are complaining about the shortage of these semiconductors, and they're crucial, aren't they?
Yeah, of course, this is a topic currently, but so far we could manage it quite well. We had some minor impacts on equipment, but so far we managed the crisis in the semiconductor quite well, and I think our colleagues in Munich and the suppliers did an excellent job so far.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world, and we're moving towards more and more decarbonisation. This is going to be a marathon, as you put it, not a sprint. So yes. Where are you? And you're seeing these trends being replicated, of course, in the APAC region. And tell me a little bit, how comparable is it to your other markets?
I think sustainability plays a major role for BMW. And we always say we are not just doing sustainability, we make BMW sustainable, and this for 365 days a year. And I think the BMW Group achieved already a lot till 2020. We reduced the CO2 emissions in the European new vehicle fleet by 53%. Compared 1995 to 2020, or all our plants source the electricity from renewable sources. And now the BMW Group has defined more targets for 2030, science-based concrete targets. And what is new, it's for the complete entire life cycle. That means from the supply chain to production to the end of use phase. And our target is to reduce CO2 emissions per vehicle by 1/3 at least, compared 2019 to 2030. And that means across the entire spectrum, in the supply chain by 20%, for production by 80%, and in the use phase by 40%.
Christopher, one of the countries in this part of the world that's showing a lot of interest in sustainability and EV cars is Indonesia, a market of 260 million people. It wants to be a battery manufacturer. What are your own plans for Indonesia? What's your strategy there?
I think Indonesia has an important role in electrification, and also Singapore. So that means we will offer more and more electrified models in these markets. We have launched already a lot of plug-in hybrids here in Singapore, and will also launch some in Indonesia. And then in the next years, we will launch the all-electric models. For example, the iX3 here in Singapore in July, the BMW iX end of the year, and also the BMW i4. So that means there will more and more electrified models will be launched, plug-in hybrids and all-electric models. And I think this will contribute that we will see more and more electric vehicles on the roads in Indonesia and in Singapore.
Also, very quickly, I mean, when do you actually foresee the date that you'll be selling more electric vehicles in the Asia-Pacific than actually normally internal combustion engine-powered vehicles?
Now, this is a good question. On a global level, the BMW forecasted that in 2030, 50% of our global sales will be all electric. Here in the region, this is a very complex region, and we have countries which are in a completely different development phase. Yeah, for example, Singapore, this is already a good step towards electromobility with the initiative, which is fantastic, that we increase availability of infrastructure from 28,000 to 60,000 in 2030. And that means with the availability of infrastructure, there's a good chance that we will see in future more electrified cars on the road. In other countries in the region, in Vietnam, for example, right. Bangladesh, I think we are still in the phase where we are in the base motorization, that people upgrade from the scooter to the car market. And I think for these markets, maybe it will take a little bit longer to develop to electromobility.
Christopher, the Philippines imposed higher taxes on imported cars in January. Did that impact your sales?
So far, we could manage this. We also have a supply for the Philippines out of Malaysia. And so far, we could manage this. Philippines is developing in a good direction. In the Philippines, we achieved segment leadership last year. And so far, we have a good forecast for this year.